William, hopefully your favorite videographer. We are here at the Dallas Area Rapid Transit Board meeting, the agency known as DART to Dallas, Texas residents. As a service to the Dallas community, we plan to cover DART board meetings from gavel to gavel. Public comments are required to keep DART board aware of issues close to the ridership that they may not get through other resources.
Good evening. It is now 6:33, and we are calling the Dallas Area Rapid Transit Board of Directors meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the October 9th, 2018 meeting. Are there any changes, edits, or additions to the minutes? I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? And a second from Mayor Slagle. Thank you. All in favor, push, well, just vote, whichever way you want. It passes unanimously. The next item on the agenda would be the CAC report for September 20th and October 18th meetings. Good evening.
Good evening. Kay Schecht is working as an election judge tonight.
Okay.
So, as vice chair of the CAC, job flowed downhill.
Well, welcome. Welcome.
Okay. I'm going to be reporting on two meetings, the September 20th meeting and the October 18th meeting. At our September 20th meeting, the committee was briefed on DART survey methodology by Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer Nevin Grinnell. For background, the CAC has focused through many years on improving DART ridership, especially on buses. We felt we were not getting the kind of depth of information from surveys that we wanted. Consequently, we began to develop a survey of our own. To his credit, Lawrence Mishak noticed our determination and understood the potential risks and requested Mr. Grinnell to talk to us about the DART survey methodologies. Now, Lawrence Mishak told me, don't put that in there, but I think he did a good job, and I think he deserved an attaboy. Okay. Mr. Grinnell explained that DART is in the 6th year of tracking survey results. DART conducts two types of annual surveys, one in even years, one in odd years. Mr. Grinnell further explained the methodologies, the number of respondents, and the consequences of receiving inaccurate information. And he further discussed the safety and security portion of his presentation. And all of this stuff you have seen, but we had not all of us had seen it. Including the methodology and the fact this survey was conducted online. He also provided a breakdown of participants, which included corporate entities, schools, and businesses. And last, he explained the challenges of building ridership. He further explained efforts underway for a customer segmentation study. That kind of study is consistent with what we were trying to work on as our survey. We hope the survey will reach all corners of the DART service and be completed sooner rather than later. Okay, that's the end of September briefing. Now, at the beginning of the October briefing, Mr. Bertrell Killen paid us a visit. And he gave us a story that he was about to catch the Green Line to the State Fair. None of us followed him out to see if he really got on that train. But he had some small children and a woman who seemed to be on a mission with him. So I think we have good circumstantial evidence that he got on the train. So thanks for writing. Just prior to the start of our October meeting, our meeting had Mr. Rob Smith as our speaker, Assistant Vice President for DART Service Planning. He provided a briefing on the newly adopted DART service standards, which were approved earlier this month. He first provided background on the development of the service standards over the past year and described the significant changes, all of which you have seen, but we had not. He explained the core frequent service categories, the new route performance monitoring system, and the new point-based system for determining placement of bus stop amenities. He explained the service type definitions and reported that his staff is discontinuing the Route Performance Index. He indicated that DART will be placing this data on DART's website in a slightly different place, I think, so that customers can access the information more easily. He ended his presentation talking about upcoming August 2019 service changes, as well as the transit system and transit service plans. The committee members peppered him with questions, many follow-up questions, with special emphasis on how the CAC might help. He indicated his plans would benefit from the CAC members contacting their city officials to improve sidewalks and streets so that buses can get into certain areas. For our November meeting, we hope to get an update on the Cotton Belt Regional Rail Project. And we thank you for this opportunity to share with you. And as always, Mr. Bertrell has set the pattern. Please come to please visit at our meetings. You don't have to have an invitation. You don't have to make a reservation. Step right in, walk right in, sit right down, let your mind roll on.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you for your service. Appreciate it. Our next person on the agenda will be doing a PAG report and the most valuable operator recognition. Who is going to actually do that?
Good evening.
Hi.
I am giving the report, what happened with our meeting October 19th for Paratransit and Accessibility Advisory Group, our PAG group. We started out with Mr. Chris Walters, DART Community Affairs, who gave us a warm welcome, and he let us know what was going to happen at the ADA meeting on October 20th, which was held in Farmers Branch. We had introductions. Mr. Doug Douglas, Vice President of Mobility Management Services, gave us a welcome. He welcomed everyone and presented our agenda for the meeting. We had a roundtable introduction of everyone at the PAG meeting. We had approval of our minutes from July 20th of 2018, and those minutes stood approved and confirmed. We had a confirmation of the board report, which is what I'm doing today, and who's going to make that report for January of 2019 for that meeting. We had Mr. John Taylor, Director of Community Outreach, MV Transportation Incorporated, gave us our most valuable operators for the third quarter of 2018, and they're going to be presented tonight at this meeting. We also heard from Mr. Joe Costello, Senior Assistant Vice President of DART Finance Department, who told us about our fare increases for paratransit services and how that's going to come about. They're targeting March of 2019 for that to occur. We had a presentation concerning, they want the PAG members and the riders to be in the process for future fare payment methods, which are going to change, so it won't be just coupons and cash. They're going to devise other ways for us to make payments. We had LRV Between Car Barriers presentation by Mr. Darrell Spencer Sr., who is Assistant Vice President of DART Fleet Engineering. And he presented us with a packet to see, and he also had colorful slides that were projected so that we could see what was happening with those barriers. We will have our next PAG meeting for January 18th, 2019, and things will wrap up at that point. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for giving us the report. Appreciate it. Mr. Douglas.
Yes, Ms. Bowman, would you and Mr.
evening.
Thomas join us down, please?
Do what now?
Would you and Mr. Thomas
yes,
join
thank
us,
you.
please? I'll be presenting two awards, and assisting me with the awards presentation is Mr. Kevin Jones. He's the CEO of MV Transportation. The first award is Ronald Mitchell. Ronald is Dart MV Holdings Most Valuable Operator for the third quarter of 2018. Ronald Mitchell has been an outstanding addition to the Irving Holdings Paratransit Division. This is his second award since winning the Most Valuable Operator for the fall of 2015. Ronald became involved with the taxi service in 2011, where he received ADA, wheelchair, stretcher, and formal customer service training from Discount Cab in Phoenix and Tucson, Arizona. In mid-December 2014, he moved to the Dallas area, and Irving Holdings was fortunate enough to have him come on board with the DART Paratransit program in February of 2015. From February of 2015 to December of 2018, Ronald has earned 62 commendations for providing 5-star customer service and for being a genuine, caring, patient, and thoughtful individual. He maintains an average on-time performance rating of 94.89% and has no complaints. Ronald is always ready to go the extra mile for Irving Holdings and the DART Paratransit team, and most importantly, his riders. He will be receiving a plaque, lapel pin, a check from DART for $200 matched by NV Transportation. Please join me in congratulating Operator Ronald Mitchell.
Stay right there. Fine.
And our next awardee, Edward Jackson. He is DART and MV Transportation's Most Valuable Operator for the third quarter of 2018. Edward Jackson has worked for our paratransit program since October 23rd, 1991. He successfully made the transition to MV in January 2015. Edward has provided over 27 years of service to the DART paratransit community and is number 3 on the MV seniority list out of 149 operators. Edward's record is exemplary, and he has no complaints, is always on time, and has no chargeable accidents. He is one of those guys who everyone loves being around, and this includes his customers, his co-workers, and his management alike. Edward has been married for 44 years. He has 2 sons, 3 grandchildren. He is a graduate of Lincoln High School here in Dallas. His hobbies include fishing, going to the movies, and taking his family out to eat. Edward loves his work and says he is proud of working for DART and MV Transportation. He also will be receiving a plaque, lapel pin, a check from DART for $200 matched by MV Transportation. Please join me in congratulating Operator Edward Jackson. Thank you, and that concludes our presentation.
Well, that's one of the most fun parts of the job, is getting to meet our great employees and recognize their service. And thank you for bringing them here to do that. Appreciate it. Our next item is public comment. And our first speaker tonight is William Dockery. Now, I'm going to read you the script that we read every time. I think you probably know it by heart by now. But General public comments will be allowed at the beginning of each DART board meeting for a total of 30 minutes. And again, at the end of the meeting, when the 30-minute period does not accommodate all persons who have signed up to speak. If you wish to speak at the end of the meeting, please fill out a public speaker card and turn it in to board support and prior to the start of the meeting. Individuals who have addressed the board in the past 30 days will be recognized to speak during the public comment period at the end of the meeting. During the public comment period, board members may not interact with the speakers or other board members by asking questions or offering their own comment. Members of the public are reminded that their behavior during DART board meetings is governed by the DART board Code of Conduct for citizens, news media, and visitors. Personal attacks, impertinent or slanderous remarks, and boisterous conduct will not be allowed. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the board. The green light on the podium will indicate when you can begin speaking. The yellow light indicates that you have 1 minute remaining, and the red light indicates that your time has expired. Again, Mr. Dockery is our first speaker.
Thank you. Good evening, board. I want to thank you for letting me stand here and talk to you. Most of my time I talk to you, I believe my complaints come under the heading of I've got to be kidding. I got one more for you. The bus 19 has basically 3 routes to it. One time the bus goes from end to end, which is beautiful. It has another one where it takes a U-turn just before Dealey Plaza and it heads back up towards Lakewood. The third one, I have a problem with the planning committee. The bus terminates 1 block before Rosa Park Station. And that means all the handicap and everybody else has to get off that bus, go across an entire block with the curbs that are not necessarily friendly to the handicap. I don't consider myself all that handicapped, but wheelchairs and whatnot have to get over the curbs that haven't been trimmed down to let them down easy and all that. It doesn't make sense. Why can't the bus just go 1 more block and drop everybody off at that Rosa Park so they can catch their connecting bus rather than have to go 1 more block by hand, or by foot, or by wheel? And that's basically it. I want to thank you.
Would you like to talk to Todd Plesko, who's here?
Sure, after the meeting, no problem.
Okay, there's Mr. Plesko. Thank you very much, appreciate it. All right, next speaker is Mark Benaviti, followed by Carrie Yarborough.
Hello. I'm sure you're going to get some negative feedback today, but I'd like to give some positive maybe for a change. I absolutely love the DART, and I think it's important for a lot of people in their lives. For me, a couple of things I do want to mention just real quick. Of course, everybody likes the save the planet and the carbon footprint element of it, but I don't think everybody really understands how much money that it can save them. When I moved downtown 7 years ago. After about 2 months, I sold my car. I realized I didn't need it because DART pretty much goes everywhere. And yes, there's hiccups and things, as the last gentleman mentioned, but overall the system is great. It covers just about everything, and an individual can save maybe $1,000 a month by not having a car. Also, the biggest aspect that I don't think anybody pays attention to, and I kind of jokingly call it the Zen aspect of just the relaxation and peace of not driving in Dallas traffic and just getting on a bus and either working on your laptop or your phone or whatever, but not worrying about squeezing into traffic or the person cutting you off or anything like that. Just knowing that you're going to get on the bus and in 23 minutes, or the train, 17 minutes, 23 minutes, whenever you're going to be at your stop. No worries along the way. Between that and the money savings, I just think it's a godsend for a lot of people. Wanted to give you guys a little bit of positive feedback between whatever else you guys might hear. That's it.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Our next speaker is Carrie Yarborough, followed by Tammy Greenberg Dubell.
I want to address the board so they're aware again of major security problems on the trains, train platforms, DART stations. where it's just gotten out of hand, and we seem to have no police there when we need them. When we call for them, they're still not there. Call Dart Police, and 2 hours later, they still haven't shown up. I walked right past, just coming in here tonight, I walked right past a fight going on, about 40 young people down in the West End. I got on a train almost immediately, no police officer in sight. This was about 6 o'clock. Got on the train, came one stop up. I asked the train operator to call the police. I doubt he did because he was busy driving the train. I came in here and asked the lady at the reception desk back here to call the Dart Police and tell them that was happening right across from Rosa Parks park there. She said, asked her a few minutes later, she said she didn't call the police. There's nothing she could do. Well, at least call the police and let them go over and see if there's something they can do. And there's 40 people fighting. And I also at the state fair, I wasn't even at the fair, but I was close to there. I went up there, somebody dropped me off so I could catch the train there. It was when people were coming out on the last day of the fair on October 21st. I was assaulted right next to the train, right where the train stopped. I was waiting for the train to stop and the door to open, and I was assaulted right there, and I called down the way for Dart Police, and apparently there was no Dart Police around over there. Had private security, which is a total 100% waste of money. Every penny spent on private security at Dart is a complete and total 100% waste of money. I'd rather have half as many people or a third as many people who are actual police officers than to have any private security that can't do anything. And almost the same for the fair inspectors, but they can at least write tickets and do a little bit more than the private security can. But even the Dart officers, I've not been trained. Finally, a Dart officer came over there, and he was able to part the crowd of thousands of people who had just come out of the fair about 4:30 in the afternoon on Sunday afternoon on the 21st. He was able to part the crowd and get me down to the other end of the train away from the person who assaulted me. Didn't say a word to her. Didn't handle the situation with her at all. Just let her get away with violating the Dart Code of Conduct and Texas law, and took me down to the other end of the train. And when the door of the train opened, I got onto the train. He said, "Get on the train right here at this end." So I got on the train at that end. It was packed full where people were standing in the aisles and couldn't get another person on there. And then he reached in and grabbed my shoulder and pulled back, and I almost fell and fell between the train and the train platform and fell back off the train because I was just standing on the steps going into the train. Police officers need to be trained on how to do their job, and they need to get the security under control on the trains.
Thank you, Mr. Yarborough. Would you like to speak with Lieutenant Lindsay, who is here this evening with the Dart Police?
Yes, I'll speak with anybody from the Dart Police.
Okay, where's Lieutenant? Okay, thank you. Our next speaker is Tammy Greenberg Dublay. Sorry.
I have some pamphlets I need to pass out from you guys. There's a phone call log and also some emails that went back and forth to your Dart Alert and your Dart Alert and respond back to customer care.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Tammy Greenberg. I live at 1529 Hickory Street in Dallas, and I'd like to say a word about emergency and contingency planning. There are two incidents I'd like to discuss. One incident was at City Place around 6 o'clock p.m. around 2 weeks ago on a Tuesday, I believe. I called customer service and did not know what was going on. I saw people go up and down the stairs. There was no Dart Police or anyone to talk to. I called customer service and I called customer service because the fire alarm went off at City Place. And you know there's no Wi-Fi downstairs. We've been talking about this forever. And the fire alarm went off. I called customer service and it's like, we don't know what's going on. I say, there was no Dart Police, there was no one around, of course, no supervisor. Then when I went and asked the customer service, so should I go down and get burned if there was a fire? It's like, you need to talk to the department management. That was uncalled for. So I went downstairs because I saw people coming out back and forth. And I noticed the doors were closed, but they finally opened the doors to the train station. Secondly, my friend and her son had never been to the state fair. So I offered to meet them at Harper Hill Station and show them how to use the train. And I'm afraid they were left with a very bad first impression. On October 21st, I boarded the train at Union Station 11:11. If you see my call log at 9:28 a.m., I made sure I was going to correct the train at 11:11. 11 o'clock a.m., a power outage came out at Mockingbird Station. But I didn't reach my destination till 12:36 p.m. I heard there was the power outage. Even more upsetting was a trip back to Pearl. A lot of passengers were impatient. I called several times to see if there was a shuttle bus to the next station. If you see my call log, I called 7 times. I believe so. And it tells you each time when I call. We waited on the train for an hour. There was a pier, and it was final weekend of the fair, and the weather was beautiful. I got off at Pearl Station and called customer service to see if there was a bus I could take to the fair, whether they wait for the green line. So, I've been on the train almost 2 hours. I even asked her what special bus customers recommend stick with the train. When I got off the train at Fair Park, I was so furious to the special bus, I'm including for the record printouts of the emails I sent to customer care and email Dartler. Please have a backup plan. This is not the first time it happened. It's not going to be the last time. Things especially fall apart on the weekends. Another reason is Fox News episode. There was no back plan with the Fox News. I was on the bus. I take this bus 7 days a week and the train. Thank you.
Okay, I was going to say, thank you very much. Would you like to speak with someone here, official, Michael Holbrook? Michael, can you raise your hand so she'll know where you are? Okay, thank you. Our next speaker is Rachel Bobroff. I apologize if I mispronounced your name.
Everyone does.
I am terrible.
No worries.
Okay, thank you.
And who knows, it's just the way my family pronounces it. I don't know if it's true.
They mispronounced mine too, so I identify.
Hi, my name is Rachel Bobroff. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak here in support of DART. I'm a Texas resident for the last 9 years, and I grew up in New York City and moved here from California where there wasn't public transportation. So moving to Texas and not really knowing the city, I did have a car, but taking the DART really allowed me to explore the city. I now live downtown, but when I first moved here, I lived in Allen, which is a bit more remote, and I know the Allen city doesn't have DART that far up, but going to the Plano area and taking the DART all throughout the Metroplex allowed me to explore new areas, explore restaurants. I lived after a few years downtown, so it also allowed me to go to work without having road rage or challenges with traffic, which was better for everyone. I hate being behind a wheel. Now living downtown and being able to walk to work, I take DART for fun. I have such fantastic memories using DART. One of them several years ago when the Mavericks won, even though they were in Miami, they televised the game here in the American Airlines Center. So I was able to take the public transportation there, have several beers and enjoy myself and enjoy the celebration and go home safely. For me, the DART has allowed me to meet new people. I've had book recommendations, restaurant recommendations, met many neighbors. I really am fully in support of the DART lines. I'm excited for it to expand. I know that there's things that will be disrupted, but things will be expanded and people have opportunities that they may not see today. So for me, the fact that a city like ours embraces it is great, but it's going to only help us grow. We have so many people moving here, the roads are getting more congested, and the fact that we believe in a public transportation system growing is only going to help us. The fact that we have the trains now going to the airport has helped immensely. I'd love for us to see more marketing campaigns tied with things like the State Fair. I know whenever I've done charitable giving, things like the Heart Walk, when I worked up in Allen, we would get DART passes, and that would excite people because their families maybe didn't take transportation like that, but for their children it was riding the train and things that could excite them. So I know that you guys do a ton of marketing, and I've done DART dates and DART explorations and going to a new community and exploring it more. Everything you guys show in your commercials very much is what people do. So I love that you have that as a lot of your marketing, and I just wanted to be here to be able to support you guys. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming down.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, can you read it? We're having a little technical difficulty here. Okay. I apologize to this individual. We are having trouble reading your name, but you live on Morrell Avenue. That's your, is that you? Normally I can read your writing. Is that the boss? Goodness. Well, I of course know you. Good evening.
Well, I'm about to pray for you.
For both of us.
There you go. Yeah, I know Gary needed it.
For both of us.
Yeah, I know he needed more than you do. Hey, one thing I want to bring to your attention. I'm hearing about these new services you're looking to implement, and my grandmama used to tell me things when I was young. And she would always tell me, if it's not broke, what you're trying to fix. And I'm talking about the MV services. We had our ups and downs, but we prosper. We continue to grow. We continue to get better. Up under the leadership and the guidance of Keith Engler, his crew, Mr. John, Mr. Tom, Michelle done such a fabulous job. She got promoted into the corporate office. You brought in a driver that you showed accolades for the services that he provided. And then one thing I caught on that he said, he loved his work. He loved working for DART, and he loved working for MV. Now it takes a tremendous amount of patience to do what they do. And you're looking to uproar, change, bring on new innovative services. Now I know these people here with these bright ideas that sit in the desk and make all these wonderful suggestions. But the problem I got, they can't do the work. They can only tell you what you want to hear. Now, my objective, if it ain't broken, let's continue to fix it. If you're looking to bring on a new provider, whatever it is you're asking for, let MV provide the services. Because if you bring on change, you're bringing on uproar to the employees. And that's a negative within itself. Now I'm asking you, and I'm pleading with you. I know we're always looking for cheap ways to do things, but I'm always going to speak highly in favor of our passengers and our customers. If it was one of yours, you want the best service for the individual passenger that rides your buses. And them people are very, very special. They're handicapped. So in bringing in this new innovative service and the new contractor that's coming in making promises that undoubtedly will bring on hiccups, I'm asking you, continue to give MV the opportunity to do it. It's only right. If you can ask them to do what they've done so far, and I got you. If you can ask them to continue to do what they've done so far, and they continue to meet the services that you ask them to implement, I'm willing to bet whatever it is you want to implement, they can make it do what it do. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Excuse me. Our next speaker is Ken
Dublé.
Dublé.
Yes.
Thank you. And that's followed by Alex Talecki.
Actually, I wasn't even planning on speaking tonight. I was here to support my wife, and my wife says, "Look, if you're gonna be complaining about the phone app all the time, you ought to at least say something to the board about it." So I love the DART app on the website, and I love the phone app that you used to have on the Go Pass. And so when we had to replace the old GoPass with this new GoPass, the travel app, it's very inferior. For example, where we live, with the app on the website and also with the old app, I could pull it up and it would tell me all of the options of buses and trains of where I was going to go. Now, the new app, it only tells me bus options. It gives me no train options, despite the fact that we're 4 blocks away from a station that serves 2 train lines. It just doesn't give any information about trains most of the time. Not even to go to work, despite the fact I work across the street from a train, the West End train station. Another problem with the phone app is it doesn't have a scrolling feature, and it doesn't save searches. In other words, you put in your search and it tells you where to go to catch the bus, and then when you try to look at it again, it's already refreshed by the GPS, so you can no longer see the search that you originally had. And where you run into problems is, for example, we were in Deep Ellum one evening and we were going to try to use the phone app to get back, and we get on the bus and all of a sudden it's not saving the searches anymore, and it's taking us down into South Dallas, and we can't pull up past searches on the new app like you could the old app. So we had no idea where we were supposed to make our connection, and so we just got out and finished our trip with Uber, with the Uber app. So anyway, whenever it comes time to renew this, I hope you'll get a different provider for that phone app.
Would you like to speak with a person on the staff here?
Yes, I'd be
Nicole
delighted.
Fontaine Birdwell.
Sure.
She's the lady in the back.
Okay.
Thank you. Is Alice Talecki here? Okay.
Hi, my name is Alex Talecki, and I'm here as a member of the North Texas Transit Riders. It's our understanding that the DART board is currently considering changing DART's 20-year financial plan, but it's also our understanding that so far the DART board is mainly talking about dividing up the big fare hikes that were set to happen every 5 years into a bunch of smaller hikes every single year that add up to roughly the same total increase, which would mean no actual savings to riders. So North Texas Transit Riders would like to propose a different change in DART's 20-year financial plan. DART's ridership keeps going down even while DART member cities' population goes up. That means that if DART's job is to get people in DART's service area where we need to go, DART is doing less and less of a good job while charging us, the riders, more and more money. And so in this important sense, DART's books don't balance and haven't balanced for years. So we say that DART's new financial plan should have one rule: there should be no more fare hikes until DART can first say that ridership has gone up. It's absolutely possible to increase ridership on a U.S. public transit system in a large city. Seattle, Phoenix, and Houston all increased ridership in 2017. And in the wake of the most recent UN report on climate change, showing about 10 years left to change how we as a society consume energy before our climate is irreversibly destroyed, drastically decreasing car usage and increasing public transit use in every U.S. city, including Dallas, should be a first priority. Privately owned ride-share services like Uber and Lyft will do nothing to fight the threat of climate change, will, if anything, make it worse. This is a task specifically for public transit systems like DART. In order to get ridership to go up, DART will need to change how our public transit system is run, with the first concern being the public who use that transit system. We need better bus stops with more seating and shelters, more sidewalks and ramps for disabled accessibility, clean public bathrooms at every station and transit center, and that's just a start. But in conclusion, given that we understand that you're talking about your extended financial planning, we'd like to propose that you make no more fare hikes until you can improve service enough to increase your ridership. It definitely can be done, and in the light of climate change, it's a moral imperative. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That's our last speaker for this portion. We'll move to the regular agenda. Items 5 through 11 are on the consent agenda. Is there a motion to take these as one vote? Is there a second? Let us vote. The motion passes. Item 12 is Miss Michelle Wong-Kraus. It's your item. Sorry.
All right, thank you. Item number 12 is authorization for funding for construction manager general contractor construction services for the Red and Blue Line platform extension project pending the FTA approval of letter of no prejudice for the Red Line station only and/or award of the full funding grant agreement and approval of the limited notice to proceed for the Red Line stations only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Let's vote, please. The motion passes. Item number 13 is out of our admin committee. Mayor Stouffer, is he here?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Oh, sorry. Didn't see you down there.
Item number 13 is approval of the fiscal year 2018 performance review and compensation for the Director of Board Support, and I move its approval.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Let's vote. The motion passed. Item number 14, Mr. Kelly.
Yeah, item number 14 is the approval of fiscal year 2018 performance review and compensation for the Director of Internal Audit. Move for its approval.
Second.
Please vote. Motion passes. The next item, again, will be our public comment, and we do have one speaker. Is Coach Johnson here? Norris Johnson? Okay.
Madam Chairman, I must say you are truly a golden girl tonight. Eye candy style. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Chief Spiller, proud to see you back there, sir. Tell Susan G. Coleman to send you an extra check. Mr. Lyons, thank you for your ongoing help with our PR service. Folks, I have 4 very important items on my agenda, and I'll be as quick as I can. Silent as it is kept, we have 2 men among us with broad shoulders, leading by example, coming down to Dallas's second version of the Marcellus Zoo and witnessing what goes on down there. Mr. Thomas, Mr. McKay, leading by hands-on example, thanks a million, both of you. I have personally witnessed them down there, hands-on experience, slapping backs and giving encouraging words to everybody on staff. Second on the agenda here, item 10, surplus property sales at LBJ Skillman Station. Way to move those dollars around and use them in a right way. I like that. Everybody ought to like that. Now, I'm suggesting strongly that we get a Future Officers of DART campaign going with recruiting in mind. Misty McBride is a survivor of our most recent nationally publicized shooting and would make a very positive image for recruiting new DART officers. She's well-spoken, a personal friend of mine, and I can say by experience, Misty truly cares. Get her a bilingual partner, put her out there, and she'll make it happen. Last on my agenda, there's a young man, 25 years old, a DART motorcycle officer. I witnessed both these incidents personally myself. Earlier in the year, we had an attempted suicide by train. He physically grabbed and saved this guy. Just last week, an infant and a highly deranged, upset, hysterical mom were calmed down by this same officer who took the child in his own hands with the EMTs into the ambulance and gave them a one-person motorcycle escort all the way to Children's Medical Center and followed up on it the next day. Chief Spiller, that's a great example of somebody that might help you retire early. Think about it. Todd Plesko, thanks a million for helping us with our project with the inland port. Hang on, guys. There's good stuff to come out of DART. I'm done. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. That was our last item this evening, so we will adjourn at 7:18. Thank you all for coming down. Appreciate it.
Ms. William, hopefully your favorite videographer. We love comments. If you don't like the way DART is handling things, lay it out for everyone to see. If you like or hate this video, tell us. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, tell us. We even love it when you call. Better yet, like or follow us on Facebook or subscribe to us on YouTube and get instant notices of all our videos the moment they are posted.